Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today, something a little bit different. We're going to be making Scottish shepherd's pie. So for this, you're going to need some potatoes, turnip, carrots, onion, haggis, some salt, pepper, a little bit of water, a bit of garlic, 1 clove, some beef stock, and some Worcester sauce. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the carrots and onions chopped up. So just finely dicing the onion, and then we're going to get the carrots finely diced as well. And we're going to start off by sauteing them, making them nice and soft in a frying pan with just a little bit of oil, but just a little bit, because you don't want these to fry, you want them to soften, so a low heat. So there we go, there's the carrots. Just show you how to cut that, again just in cubes. So top, tail, now take off an edge so you've got it nice and square, cut it into strips, and then we're just going to cube that up. Guys, I'd like to say thanks very much for all the comments. I'm glad you are enjoying these videos. Honestly, it is a pleasure making them. I'm speechless with some of the comments that I'm getting. I'll keep making these as long as you guys keep watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and we can see how far we can take this. So back to this, we're just chopping these up. There you go, last bit, and then we are going to move on to the potatoes. So I've peeled these potatoes and I'm just going to cut them. I've got them in the water into chunks. Now you want to keep them, there you go, just split it into 4. You want to keep them the same size if you can. So again, just cut it, look at it, they're about the same size. So I've cut up the rest of them. You don't need to see me cutting potatoes. Now turnip, you got to watch this. You need a sharp knife. What I would say is, if you can buy prepaid turnip that's already sliced and cut into cubes, do it, because this is honestly a tough root vegetable to chop up. Once I got it going, I sharpened my knife. I'm just going to take off the edges, top and tail it. You can see here, getting a proper grip of it. Once I got going though, that was me, I was pretty alright with it. And I'm cutting this the same size as the potatoes. So that's all done. Cleaned everything up a little bit. Now I've had this oil, this pan's on, it's been heating up in the oil, and I'm just dropping in the carrots and onions, because now what you're going to do is you add a little bit of salt and pepper to this, and then you are just going to, like I say, you're just going to saute them off in the frying pan. You don't need to add any extra flavours, because the haggis is actually quite flavourful. It's quite a lot of seasonings in there. So we whack that in. While that's happening, while that's getting nice and soft, we're going to move on, chop up the garlic. So we'll grab that, and we'll just, again, we're just going to finely dice this. There is no right way or wrong way. Take your time when you're cutting vegetables and garlic. Like, there's no mad rush. I am certainly no professional chef, and that's the joy of cooking is the process. It's not about let me just wham bam get it done. It's take your time. Everybody's got their own speed, everybody's got their own skill set. These videos that I do are to try to design to be as easy as possible so that you can try them at home if you fancy, or not. It's completely up to you. So we've got the garlic there, just running the knife through it just so that you've got a nice easy bit. Pop that in with your carrots and your onion. You can add a bit of celery if you wanted to that. Again, make it the normal trinity. I just use carrots and onion. Like I said, the haggis has got quite a bit. So I cut across it, then I slice through it just to get the skin off the haggis. Makes life a bit easier. Just remove all the packaging. Now, if you've never had haggis before, it is absolutely beautiful. Don't look at what's in it. Trust me, just read the cooking instructions. Okay, it tastes better than it reads. So again, all we're going to do is just cut this into chunks. So first of all, I'll start off by slicing it up, and then I'm going to chunk it up. There's quite a lot of fat in this, so that's why you don't need a lot of oil in the pan. This is going to create, once this starts to cook and break down, it will actually start to in the pan, it'll release quite a lot of liquid. So see here, we've got the carrots and onions. They're being nice, and the garlic, they're nice and soft. So we're just going to have a look at them. So they've been, you can sweat them down longer if you want, make them a bit softer to start with. For me, this is ideal because you're going to be cooking it again in here, and then you're going to be cooking it in the oven as well. So to this, we add in our haggis. Now this is where you've got to trust the process. Okay, you've got to make sure that you just take your time with it. If you are going to make this, you just got to take your time, keep the faith with it, and keep going, and you'll see what I mean in a second or so. So add them all in, give it a bit of a mix. Then you're going to let it cook, and you're going to let it start to break down. So you can see we've come back, we've given it a stir, starting to break down. Now at this point, it will the fats in the haggis will start to break down and become render. So that's why you have got the water. You're just going to give us quite a little splash of water. It helps steam it a little bit, but also it just keeps it moving. And you can see there the haggis now has started to become more malleable in the pan, and you just want to keep that moving around, and it will become more and more malleable in the frying pan, and it will start to stick to the bottom. You can see there where it's starting to stick a little bit, so you just want to keep it moving. Now this is something that has to be cooked all the way through. You can't, like this, there's no middle ground with haggis. You've got to cook it right through. So after a little while, you see there it's starting to not form a paste, but it's becoming a form. So at this point, what we want to do is add in a couple of splashes of Worcestershire sauce, and we want to put in our beef stock cube just to lift the flavour. Again, you don't have to add these two in. You can just have the haggis. Honestly, is depending on where you're getting it from, has a lot of seasoning and a lot of flavours in it itself. So You want to just make sure that's all mixed in. At this point you can add in a little bit more water if you wanted to, if it's becoming, just to help that stock cube melt a little bit in the, but it will melt in the heat. And all you're doing is you're just doing that, and you keep it agitated, keep it moving, and we're well on our way to getting this. And you can see there it's starting to thicken up, it's starting to become gelatinous. That's just all the fats rendering, which is a great thing. So here we go. You can see that there. You can see all. I'm just pointing out where it is, the fat's bubbling away through it, and that's, you just want to keep mixing it. You can see at the bottom there. You want to get all that off your pan, and you just want to keep going, and you just got to keep going until it's cooked through. Now, the last thing you want in any kind of pie that's underneath it, you don't want it bone dry. So it's, you got to keep stirring it, and then it will come to a point where it looks a bit like this, and it's becoming to shape like mince, like lamb mince or beef mince, whatever you want to put in a cottage pie or a shepherd's pie. This is, I've just substituted that for haggis. So we keep it mixing. Again, haggis does have onions and oats and all that kind of stuff in it. So yeah, again, I just add the extra stuff in. So it's ready. So I've got myself a little dish here, and I'm just going to plate it, start putting in all the haggis mixture into the bottom of the tray, getting ready for the topping. So just fill that up, get it all spread out so you get a nice layer, and then we'll move on to getting the topping ready. So your topping, what you want to do, you want to get a pan of water, salt it up quite liberally, and you want to bring that up to the boil. Easiest way to do that, turn it up full blast, get your lid on, and there you see there. So we've got boiling water. Then what you want to do is add in your potatoes and your turnip. Now, word of warning, don't do it like I did it. Okay, they splashed in everywhere. So we've got them bubbling away. So they've been cooked now, and you can see there the turnip starting to float. The potatoes are nice and crumbling away. So ideal. Now what I've got here, I've got a ricer. Probably the best thing I've ever bought to making mashed potatoes. So all we're going to do, nice and simply, we've got the potatoes and the turnip. We've drained them, all the water, so you can see them there. I've got them in the colander. I'm just going to put a few in the ricer. So get that open, get them in the ricer. Secret to the ricer is not overfill it, and then you just squeeze it through, and you just keep repeating the process until you have got all the potatoes and all the turnip done. So we do that, just again show you in the ricer. Now the turnip is quite fibrous, so it will stick at the bottom of the ricer, so you just got to give it a mix. Now this is the stage you want to add in a good amount of salt and pepper into that mash, and a fair old bit of butter. You want nice luxurious mash, So we're going to get that. We're going to put in a big lump of butter there. Didn't think it was enough, so I put another big lump in. So never said it was healthy. Did say it was delicious though. So what we're going to do is just mash that all up. At this stage, you can add a splash of milk, which I do. Probably doesn't need it because you've added that much butter in. And what you want to do is just want to make sure that you integrate that butter all the way through. And just keep mashing until you've got it to the consistency you want. Bearing in mind the turnip will still have a few lumps because it is quite fibrous, but honestly, once you do that and give it a good mix, there you go, splash of milk, you don't really notice it in the final product. So you just want to keep it mixing that until it's all incorporated. Give it a taste as well at this stage, because you want to make sure that your mash is absolutely spot on. There's nothing worse than bland mashed potato. It's just nothingness. You could use double cream. Again, it's what you've got around you. More people will probably have milk than double cream, so that's the easiest one thing to do. I gave it a bit of taste. It did need some more salt and more pepper, so that's what I added in, just to try and lift it. Then it was give it a mix. I also then give it one last blast with the potato masher. I then give it a quick whip round with a wooden spoon, and then the topping is ready. At this point as well, you could add in a little bit of cheese. Up to you. If I was making a normal, maybe cottage pie, shepherd's pie using beef mince or lamb mince, I might add a bit of cheese in. But I decided against it. So, like I said, I get the wooden spoon and I just give it one last little mix round. If you've got it's ideal as it is. So then what we're going to do, you've got the topping, you've got the base, you can see there, and now it's just about forming the two of them. At this point you want your oven on, preheating. You want the oven on between probably 180, I would say, on a fan oven, maybe 200 if you've not got a fan oven, and you want to just pop it in the oven for about half an hour until you've got a nice crust on top of your potatoes and everything's red hot. So guys, what I'm going to do, the rest of this video, I'm just going to show you me filling it in, getting it all on there, and then popping it in the oven. Guys, and that is Scottish shepherd's pie. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the comments. I do try and get back to every one of them. And if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. And I hope you are all looking after yourself. From my family to yours. Until the next time, Single Dad signing off, so you can enjoy the rest of the video without my voice.